Welcome back, everybody, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Madden 20 franchise rebuild. We are going through yet another full season today in the year 2035. What is it, the 16th or 17th year now in the series? We're getting underway, and of course, I say this every episode now, this could be the final season of Tyrus Sparks' career. Now, he's an 87 overall, and I start to think that retirement is a bit more possible when overalls drop like his has from the 90s into the 80s. If he plays another year beyond this one, he's probably going to be more like an 84, 83 overall. Maybe the decline gets really steep at some point. But I feel like most of the time with these star quarterbacks, I've seen them retire before their skills completely go into the 70s or 60s. Now, that is not always the case. I can't show it here. I wonder if he was signed, but Lamar Jackson, at the time I last saw his ratings, he was a 68 overall and still in the league. He may be a backup right now. There he is, 38 years old, 69 overall, and he is still in the league. So there is no, perfect way to know when a player's going to retire. There's variance, and that's something I try to talk about as much as I can here in the series. Like, there's variance. Sometimes you're on the high end of variance, the low end of variance. You just want to realize what possibilities can occur. So I guess we could see Tyrus Sparks play until regression really takes a toll on his skill set. But I have not seen that with Anton Greenberry. I haven't seen it with J.W. Unger in the past rebuilds I've done. So if he were to actually experience that kind of decline before retirement, it would be unprecedented here for my series. I think a big reason why we all love franchise modes are because we get to look at stats. I know that was one of the first things that gripped me in franchise mode, seeing stats that reminded me of real life. And it's fun to go into these deep series and see what can happen over the course of many seasons. Sparks has 483 touchdown passes. He needs just 17 to reach that 500 touchdown club. He also has 872 yards, so if he wants to catch Tom Brady, he's going to have to sneak the football a bit more. Tom Brady has 1,037 rushing yards. I think somebody at the NFL should put together a video of all of his rushing yards. It's got to be possible. It's definitely not worth the time, but I would watch it. So what are some things we want to see from this season? Well, I think that the big thing is more out of the ground game, even more than we've seen. Now that Norton's an X factor, he and Galloway are the best tandem we've had here in the series, but we're also trying to make up for the loss of Joe Coakley, who retired. So Denzel Hakeem becomes a starter. Let's give him a boost right here. Overall doesn't go up. He gets the finesse ratings. And I know it's been suggested that McCrary plays tackle this season, and I think that it's something I should consider. He's not as good as Seymour, but has a lot more upside, especially if this isn't even star development. My only concern is that by going from Coakley to Hakeem and then playing the rookie McCrary, what would that do for our ground game success? It's not something I'd be willing to sacrifice right now, but I think I have to at least see it fail before I discount the idea. Keep in mind, we also are a bit weaker at tight end this year. We don't have as much depth as we normally do. I think that with Jamal Clancy, I'm hoping that he has a much stronger second season. His production in his rookie year was a little bit less than I expected, with him being a starter all season long. This is kind of the production we'd expect from rookie receivers a handful of years ago, before we started seeing rookies, tear up the league and get these 1,000-yard campaigns. With the defense now, we have Jermichael Beekman down to 82 overall. We have some pretty good depth at safety, but I still want to play Jerome Page for now. I just don't think Travis DuBois is ready with these ratings. 65 coverage, 62 tackle, a lot of great skills here to develop, but he needs that season, I think, at least one. I think our pass rush, though, is going to be solid. I know a lot of you said that Trey McCoo should play a big end role, and I think with 79 strength, that does make some sense. kind of like the idea there. And we do need some more depth at edge. So if I move him out to left end, overall goes from 67 and stays right there. But I think that with the lower strength, this is probably a better move. We still have sufficient depth too at defensive tackle when you consider I selected Dean in the first round. And I think that McCoo can kind of play a hybrid role anyway. So I feel pretty good about the team, but definitely there are some things that could see some regression this year. And I'm hoping the ground game isn't one of those things. I think that's very key to our success going forward. There's a reason that Tyrus Sparks had the least yards in his career last year, and we won 14 games, and he tied his career high in touchdowns. And I think that was having the benefit of this ground attack. We start the season with a nice solid victory over Minnesota, 33-16. We put up a lot of yardage today. I see 140 for the ground game. That is really nice to see. 3 touchdowns for Tyrus Sparks. Norton over 100 yards to start the season. Galloway had 30 and a touchdown. Hey, Sparks got 8 rushing too. You got to count those on the road to 1,000. Ventura, 7 for a $112 and a score. Mills, 5 for 46. Norton even caught the football today and scored a touchdown. So did Galloway. All right. Very strong performance, and that was with our new, changed offensive line. 2 new starters. Sullivan Metcalf, by the way, now a starter for the Vikings. He did give up a sack in this game, and we had sacks from Chuck Roll, Brendan Wallace, and Casey Dean. Brendan Wallace. Larimore and Bailey had picks, but Brendan Wallace, I don't really know him that well. Second year out of Middle Tennessee State, 81 speed, 77 finesse. I want to say he was a late round pick. Like a 7th round pick or something. Yeah. Okay, so he picked up a sack today. Coming out of this game, we also have a breakout chance, and it's going to be for Isaac Larimore, who picked up an INT. Wow, if he could get this, that would be phenomenal. And this is one of the more doable breakout chances. And I think if I want him to play this hybrid role that I have talked about, it's nice to have a little more development there, and having at least star dev helps. Upgrading Lonnie McCrary is, of course, going to be critical. Stays a 70 here, but a lot of ratings here going up. That's awesome to see. And then Leonard Lester also gets development. Let's go with power here for Lester. A long time ago in the series, I did find that there were more efficient power rushers in the game than finesse, which I guess surprised me. I don't know why, but that's just kind of the way it is. I drafted Travis DuBois this year, and we also have Perry Byers entering his 2nd year. So we have options when it comes to who our next starting safety is going to be. Either Byers or DuBois. That's a pretty safe call. Hopefully, if we can increase some of Clancy's ratings here, we can see him produce a little more. Just wanted him to become a scheme fit here. 3 deep route running, that's pretty nice. Oftentimes with normal development players on offense, I like to go in like one specific direction with them, but Clancy came in so well rounded, so I gotta think the production picks up at some point. We've played many a game against Dallas in this series, and we win a close, low-scoring, low-yardage output game. Neither team did a whole lot on offense, but we picked up 2 interceptions. This could be the issue though. Sparks was sacked 5 times. And, okay, the running game, not great. 56 yards on 15 carries, but we could see the sacks go up quite a bit. 53-2 here for Gabe Ventura, and a 2-0 start. Let's take a look, though, if we had the breakout chance succeed for Larimore. No sacks for him. A lot of sacks, though, in this game. Interceptions go to Kyle Caver. Tackles for loss. I don't think he got it. Oh, I just upgraded Dwayne Trawick. He got a new ability at safety now that he's an 80 overall. Unfakeable. Okay, that's pretty useful. Tyrone Brightful could have used that one in the Chargers series for sure. All right, Week 3 is always fun. We get to see this draft class and contract demands. So as always, you know, if Tyrus Sparks retires, what's the plan? Well, last year's quarterback class wasn't strong. This year's quarterback class might be even weaker. One more thing to keep in mind is that if Tyrus Sparks doesn't retire, he requires another contract. He wants 1 year, $32 million, not too surprising there. Of course, I would still look to sign him unless like he went down like 60 points or something really ridiculous. One thing about these series, of course, you know, Anton Greenberry, J.W. Unger played their entire careers with the team in the rebuild. Not that I would never, you know, move on from a quarterback or anything, but the road to getting there has just never occurred. They've always played at a very high level and then retired before a significant drop-off. But regardless, we have players to think about for the future. Tyrone Bradley, Damian Burgess, I feel like I just extended him a few years ago. Nathan Parson, Clinton Mills, Jamichael Beekman, Dwayne Treywick. I'd say the difficulty for this year is quite high. So where's the cap space? If we sign Tyrone Bradley, we still have around $90 million in space. So about $100 million right now, and around a third of that could go to Tyrus Sparks potentially. It's a 3-0 start to the season. We defeat division rivals, the Atlanta Falcons. 2 scores for Tyrus Sparks, 300 in the air, 63 on the ground for Ellis Norton. So after 100 yards in the opener, around 100 yards, a little more than that in the next 2 combined. Good game for Mills and Ventura. Definitely want to keep those 2 on the team. And then for the defense, got a few more sacks here. Burgess, Jamison June, and another Bailey interception. Upgrading Lonnie McCrary again. Overall, still won't go up. I think it's just slow to go up for offensive linemen. They can get a lot of boosts, and then, you know, eventually overall does rise. I can't believe we got a speed upgrade here. I haven't seen that too often for offensive linemen. Wow. I didn't realize how strong this corner class was, and this could be Beekman's last season. So if we just want to be aware, I like being deep at corner. That's always one of the positions I've tried to be deep at with my teams no matter the series. You need at least 3 that can play, and this class will offer a lot of great cornerback talent. When it comes to contracts, though, I think for the most part, I want to see how regression plays out. With Tyrus Sparks, that's definitely going to be the case. I want to see what regression does, because it brought him down like 5 overall points in the last offseason. And that's all if he sticks around, of course. I may sign Bradley before that, because I think this is just really fair. Like, it's 33 over 3 years. It's not too huge, honestly. So I'll offer him this right now and see if he takes it. Bradley does sign a 3-year extension. Another player I'm definitely going to re-sign or try to re-sign as quick as possible is Dwayne Treywick. I want to offer him this deal as soon as week 7 hits. 34-24. Tampa suffers their first loss of the season, and the defense gave up almost 500 yards in the process. Mark Kiernan has become one of the top quarterbacks in the league. He threw for 365. Sparks had a pretty good day as well. It seems like his yards are going to be up from last season. Norton 50 yards, Galloway 20. Feels like we're almost running the football less. Not even almost. I think we are running the football less. Last season we had so many games, like 30 runs, 40 runs combined. I didn't change anything dramatically. Ventura, 7 for a $161. But it looks like our secondary had their struggles. Good day for Galloway in the air. And on defense, Caver, another sack. Chuck Roll gets a sack. Feel like we haven't seen much from Seymour yet. There's also an interesting development coming out of this I don't think I've seen before, and that's a frustrated second running back, Brendan Galloway, who had 60 yards receiving. He had some rushing yards. He's never been the starter, so I don't think I've seen this before. New injury. What's this? Oh, no! No! Torn pec for Ellis Norton. I knew something was up. I knew something did not make sense there. I've actually seen that. I have seen that. Royce Freeman, Broncos series. I think it was Lindsey got hurt. Freeman barely got carries, and he got the frustrated running back scenario. I should have connected the dots faster. Wow. Norton done for the season. 26 weeks. What do we do now at running back? Obviously, Galloway becomes the starter, but now we have to look at who the second back is going to be. Free agency doesn't offer a lot of great options. 68 overall is going to be the best we can do there. So I think we're going to have to stick with who we have or make a trade. Alexander Dawson now gets the opportunity. We do need 3 healthy running backs, though, on the roster. Undrafted rookie from North Dakota, Mike Allen, will be signed. He's only 21 years old, and this could help out his development. Let's now upgrade Travis DuBois. Overall didn't go up. A lot of upgrades, not pushing overall. Only 3 ratings. I feel like there should be a couple more. How about late round pick Vernon Allen, the route running specialist? Now we gotta work on some of the other skills. Before I show you the result of the game, look at all these things to do! I'm gonna be here forever. Back in the win column though, a $153 rushing. Something happened in this game. We didn't throw the ball all that much. 10 yards an attempt though. Sparks was efficient. Galloway, 109. And then 17 from Sparks. I don't know what he typically gets. That's at least 24 yards I paid attention to. Dawson, 16 and 2. Ronnie Wynn ran for a touchdown. What? Ronnie Wynn ran for a touchdown. Mike Allen got his first career carry. You know I'm excited about that. Martin Woodard. Can we talk about how he carried 13 times, 59 yards, and broke 7 tackles? Mills, 71 yards. Clancy, 51. Eugene, 40. Quiet day for Gabe Ventura. Where's Sylvester Seymour? There it is. I knew we wouldn't wait too long. Dean, the rookie. Macklin, Roll, Parson, Burgess. Team effort on defense. So let's start with some of these things to do. Galloway is pretty happy. He got the football and 500 experience. Meanwhile, Gabe Ventura saw us lose our top running back, and he wants to know why he didn't get the football more in this game. This was apparently an important win. It was against the Panthers. I understand that. We have a Thursday night game, so now we have to talk about short rest. What do we do with that? Rest over prep, always. I like to see more variance here out of some of these scenarios because I go the same direction every time. And then 2 breakout chances against the Atlanta Falcons. This one goes to Clinton Mills. 3 touchdowns or a $150. Gonna be tough, but it's possible. And an opportunity for Jamal Clancy. Have you ever seen this? 2 players at the same position, pretty much guaranteeing someone fails. Clancy, 2 scores or 100 yards. Back to Lonnie McCrary. This overall just wants to stay at 70. It's morale making it a 71. He's getting better though. That's like 3 upgrades already, and we're a game away from knowing his dev. I can now negotiate with Clinton Mills, and I definitely want to. I have a plan for the young players, but for the veterans, that's going to be a wait-and-see approach because it all depends on what Sparks chooses to do. If he retires, that means we have an extra $30 million, at least temporarily. But we're actually getting close to the end of Ronnie Wynn's deal, which is a little unfortunate. 1 week away from trying to sign Treywick, but we did re-sign Clinton Mills. 42 points, everybody. Okay, we have a shot here. We scored a lot of touchdowns. Sparks threw 4, so 3 to Mills would seal it. 2 to Clancy would work for him. Galloway ran for 70 yards. Dawson found the end zone twice again. Mike Allen 6 for 20. So, who caught these touchdowns? 3 for Mills! Oh man! 1 game after I signed him to the mega deal. The big contract. I'm not sure if this would have changed it. I do think that development should factor into contracts. But we just got him to superstar. A wide receiver, a skill player from star to superstar. There it is. Clancy had 62. He does not move to star development himself. Dominique Hadley had a pretty good game against us. We had a touchdown for Lamar Eugene. That's pretty cool. But 3 to Clinton Mills. What a time. Burgess, Parson, Roll, Bailey, and Macklin split. Fantastic stuff. And Mills gets an upgrade as well. Let's get this physical upgrade going here. With superstar development, we should see potentially a lot more of these. Still needs a lot of experience because he is in the 4th year of his career, but he's already in a great spot with his skill set. There's not a flaw here. Now I can negotiate with Dwayne Trawick. 3 years at age 27, I like that length. If he were younger, I might want to go with more years. We do sign him to the 3-year deal. We have lost our 2nd game of the year. It was to a very good Jaguars team. We both now have 5-2 records. And our pass game had a really off day, it appears. Only 160 for Tyrus Sparks. Corey McKinley had nearly 300. We did run the football quite a bit, though. And Galloway had 82 yards. Dawson 10, Sparks 5 more. So just an off day for us. Nothing to be too concerned about, hopefully. Parson, Burgess, they get more sacks. Not seeing as much, though, from Seymour. This could be a down year for him. It is now the trade deadline, by the way. And I know I brought up in the previous episode, what about Hunter Schrader of the Vikings? Whom I think may have gotten an upgrade this season. I'm not sure exactly. I thought he was a 75. I'm interested because he has superstar dev and Ronnie Wynn does not. I want to know what it would take. I don't think a 4th rounder will do it. A 4th rounder is not even close. I don't even think a 2nd round pick would do it. No, not even halfway there. Now, what if I offered a player like Cassidy Seymour, who's in a contract year and could be a starter on some teams? Okay. So, do we make the trade? Get Hunter Schrader. See what happens. I think in this case we have to consider it. Cassidy Seymour plus another pick. Or player. The trade has been made. Cassidy Seymour and corner Allen Hughes for Hunter Schrader. And we now have 4 quarterbacks on the team. I just think with his superstar dev, why not try to make a deal there? Ronnie Wynn, same overall, less development. Wynn is in his 3rd season. Schrader is actually in a contract year. So what we were basically doing is trading the ability to sign a quality, maybe starting tackle or solid backup in Cassidy Seymour, who wanted $7.5 million a year, by the way. I checked. He wanted 2 years, 15. Instead, we get the chance to potentially sign Schrader if Sparks were to retire. We may end up not keeping Schrader beyond this season, but I'd rather have the chance to sign a future quarterback. So that means we should be able to see what he's looking for this season. And Schrader wants huge money. Way more than I expected. $116 million. We lost Jamichael Beekman to a broken toe. So another starter now out. And we traded away one of our backups at corner. We're going to sign Travis Page off of the Broncos practice squad then to give us some more depth. I think there's only one path to Hunter Schrader actually getting that offer from me, though, and that's going to be if Sparks were to get hurt and he were to prove how good he is in the meantime. Otherwise, one thing I think is possible is say Sparks retires. This would be expensive, but what if we tagged Schrader and then let him and Wynn figure it out and then make the decision after the following year? Because that would be Wynn's contract year, and of course the tag's a 1-year deal for Schrader. Interesting. Khalil Clemens top 3, to me, I would think he'd be overrated. But Clemens is actually a first-round talent despite B finesse move being his highest skill. That to me tells me he's either A, very well-rounded, or B, his athleticism is going to be really, really good, and his speed, acceleration, and strength are going to prop up his overall quite a bit. Very interesting player. Tyler Null. I feel like I've never seen, first-round talent at end with B as the top rating, but now I've seen it for 2 players. There's a victory for Tampa Bay. We defeat New Orleans again. And Tyrus Sparks had 3 touchdowns in the process. Galloway, 88 yards. Dawson, 24. No rushing in this game, I guess, for quarterback Tyrus Sparks. He lost 2 yards. Going backwards now. 60 yards for Galloway in the air. Ventura, 58. 58 for Mills. I wonder what this is going to do for Galloway's receiving production. It could be pretty impressive. A lot of sacks here too, spread across a lot of different players. Let's add some power to Brendan Galloway's game here. Break tackle and trucking. Still normal dev, but a very, very good running back. Lonnie McCrary, we get to upgrade him. I'll go agile again. Why? Okay, it's actually a 71 now. The morale boost actually went away because he'd be a 71 regardless. His development is star. Okay. And it seems that our ground game has been just fine with him playing this year. We get the win over Houston, allowing just 210 yards. 3 more touchdowns for Tyrus Sparks. 87 yards for Brendan Galloway, getting 24 carries. Mills and Ventura doing a lot of damage here. And then for defense, we have Macklin, another sack for him, and more interceptions. Jerome Page got 1. And here's an update on where the division is at this year. So we're 7-2. The Panthers are 5-4. So still in first place. I get to upgrade Ellis Norton even though he's not going to play again this season, even if we go to the Super Bowl. 1 rating, 3 catching. That's a lot of points against Seattle. I like seeing that. Defense allowed 34 rushing yards, 5 scores for Tyrus Sparks, and 7 more sacks for this defense. I can't believe how many sacks we're getting, and Sylvester Seymour, his production is way down. I'll have to check out the stats here. I usually like to wait because I want to see totals at the end as a surprise, but Seymour got 3. He can make up for lost time in a hurry, that's for sure. Dotson, another pick. Here's a quick look at some stats. 26 touchdowns, Tyrus Sparks. Actually not being sacked all that much, just 1.8 per game, and we'll take that all day. Receiving, Ventura, very good. Should have 2 1,000-yard receivers here. Clancy, still just 271 yards. And defense, Burgess, 6.5. Chuck Roll leads the team. Seymour has 4. So Chuck Roll, I want to know how the snaps are being distributed right now. So Roll, 7 sacks, definitely a breakout for him, and this is at pretty much the same snaps he played a year ago. His production has more than tripled. Meanwhile, rookie Casey Dean has, I think, 3.5, and he's playing only 150. So Roll has been the starting second defensive tackle. And then for rush tackle, it's Seymour, Roll, Dean. So Dean's still getting some snaps. I wouldn't mind more, but Roll leads the team in sacks, so I can't take snaps away from him. Damian Burgess wants to go to X Factor. What does that take here at edge? 50 rushing yards, and 0 rushing touchdowns or 3+ sacks, TFLs, fumbles, and picks. We can actually do that first one. I think we have the last 2 weeks. Do we have another superstar coming to this team? Travis DuBois is getting another upgrade, trying to get his coverage ratings ready so he could potentially start next season. One more zone coverage. It's now at 67. We defeat the Packers. They had 51 rushing yards as a team. 51. We sacked them 7 times though, so how much did Burgess get? Derwin Calvin, 102. And here, 3 sacks for Damian Burgess. 2 for Seymour. So we now have a receiver going from star to superstar. And now another superstar X-Factor defensive end. Wow, we are destroying these breakout goals this episode. Here it is. Superstar. Wait, I thought it was 3. Do I have to look at that scenario first before it happens? There we go. They're gonna make one of those sports documentaries about this game. I love that energy from Damian Burgess. They're going to make a documentary about this specific game. Hey, McCrary's overall went up. Actually, no. Now the morale's making it a 73 overall. Whatever, morale or not, ratings are in a good spot right now for a rookie offensive lineman. I'm definitely going to want to re-sign Burgess, but I think I should still wait to see what regression does, because the fair offer should come down. Oh yeah, it's Laramore's contract season. 6 a year, roughly. I like when they give me tough decisions here, where I don't know my answer the second I see the numbers. I have to think about it. I don't know yet. 49-7. Oh my goodness, this team is as dominant as last year. 6 scores for Sparks. Is that a career high? One of you Bucs rebuild historians will know if that's a career high or not. 83 more for Galloway. He doesn't find the end zone much, but he gets yards. 3 scores for Ventura. 12 catches, $134. Well, safe to say he's over 1,000 yards, I think. Mike Allen caught the ball, 26 yards. That's what I'm talking about. 2 sacks for Seymour. He was just giving everybody a head start. New injury, though. It is Tobias Candidate. A broken hand at tight end. We will place him on injured reserve. I know we have 4 tight ends on the roster. Upgrading Hunter Schrader. This may make the offer go up, but I always make sure a player's points are spent before offering them a contract anyway. I think that's the most fair way to go about it. You can sign them, you know, early in the season as your advantage, but I think you should spend your upgrade points. We go from 49-7 to 14-7, but they all count the same. Another win for Tampa. We had 2 interceptions, a bit quieter day for the passing game. And Galloway ran for 65 yards. He did find the end zone in this one. Jamal Clancy, he gets to lead the team in receiving today. One of the first times I think he's done that. A sack for Macklin, a sack for Seymour. Madden got an interception at defensive end. That's what I'm talking about. So did Page. Not that there was any drama about this, but we're going to be division champs again. We're now 12-2 on the season. Carolina, no match for us. 5 touchdowns for us, 5 sacks for them. Mike Allen, 11 for 49. Is Galloway all right? Ventura scored 3 times again, $129. Do we have another running back injury? 4 sacks for Seymour. He's going to lead the team. He is going to lead the team. No injury shown here, so it must have been an end-of-game scenario then for Brendan Galloway. He's okay. 13-2. We scored a safety in this game. We had a 5-point fourth quarter. 2 more scores for Tyrus Sparks. 8 more sacks for our defense. This is one of the best pass rushes I've had in this game. Ventura over 100 again. He's going to lead the team in yards, or the league. He'll lead the team too. 3 sacks for Seymour, 2 for Burgess. This second half for Seymour has been something else. We went 14-2 a year ago. We are now 13-2, but actually still don't have the #1 seed. San Francisco's 13-2. We're guaranteed a first-round bye. Do I care about seeding enough to play Sparks in the finale? I don't think so. I'd actually like to play Hunter Schrader in this game, because if Sparks retires, I want at least 1 game of information of him starting for us. We do lose in overtime, 30-24. So our first loss in a while. Greg Wilbur had a really good game, and Hunter Schrader had 3 touchdowns. He was 24 of 31. Good start. We ran the football decently with Galloway. Page was a bit more efficient. Jalen Slate, a big day for him. Clancy, 8 for 81. On defense, no sacks, no takeaways in this one. So we may not be the #1 seed. We also very well could. I'm fixing the depth chart here, and then we'll see who our first opponent is. Got some upgrading here. Landon Flanagan all of a sudden gets 2. Is it possible he is a Pro Bowl kicker? We're going all the way into accuracy. Landon Flanagan. He is a Pro Bowler. So there's a first, a rookie Pro Bowl kicker. We'll check out his stats here in a moment. Denzel Hakeem has 2. Something tells me he made the Pro Bowl as well. He made his 2nd Pro Bowl, actually. His 2nd, huh? Okay. Now I'm forgetting what year Coakley retired. I'm not even sure. But here are the stats from this season, everybody. Great year. #1 offense. No surprise there. #3 defense. Tyrus Sparks, a brand new career high. 41 touchdown passes. Fantastic. Brendan Galloway, similar average to Norton last season. 954 yards and 4 touchdowns. Dawson scored 6 times. Ventura, 1375 and 14 scores. Mills, 87 catches. Clancy's production was definitely up. That's good. For sacks allowed, Mays had a down season. That kind of came out of nowhere. For sacks, 16 for Seymour. Are you kidding me? When did I check the stats? Was it like 10 games in he had 1? I don't know if it was that extreme. He ended up with 16. That is incredible. I wish this was chronological. Come on, can we get that? I want to see the order. Because all these games, no sacks. And then 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. And then a couple single sack performances. Burgess in double digits as well. Chuck Roll 10.5. Parsons 7.5. This team is ridiculous. 6 interceptions for DeJuan Bailey. Landon Flanagan 14 for 18. I guess that was good enough. Christian Stanton led the league in yards. Superstar, 28 years old. Okay, when was Stanton drafted? I remember seeing the Steelers, like a box score maybe in the last season's sim, and I was like, I don't think I've heard of him. But he has started actually for a number of years, and he's getting better here in his late 20s. Sparks led the league in touchdowns, though, with his 41. Most interceptions to quarterbacks with 15. Rushing, Lynn Page gets the rushing title for this year. Jalen Bates, 84 overall. I don't think I've heard of him really in this series. McKinley, 970, not bad. Gabe Ventura, no triple crown, but he takes the 2 most important, yards and touchdowns. Most catches, 104. Oh wow, Dominique Hadley had a 1,000-yard, 9-touchdown season for Atlanta. So that's proving to be a pretty good signing for them. So who led the league in sacks, I wonder? Jonathan Ryan. I thought it was going to be Seymour. That's still an incredible run he had. Kevon DeVoe, 8.5. I forget where Robert Cush went. I never checked his team after he didn't re-sign with us. Robert Cush, where did he continue his career? With the Baltimore Ravens. Alright, what did Robert Cush do this season? He had 1.5 sacks, 44 tackles, so he played a lot. He played 573 snaps. I think he's retiring. Here are updated career stats now for our team. 524 touchdowns for Tyrus Sparks, and now 940 rushing yards. If he plays another year, he might get to 1,000. Ventura now 10,000 yards, 735 catches. He could easily get to 1,000. 122. That's how many sacks Seymour has in his career. How about interceptions? 34 for Jermichael Beekman. I don't think he had many this season. And around the NFL, Lamar Jackson, 506 touchdowns. Sparks has the most active. Martin Woodard, almost 10,000 yards rushing. Garrison Miller, over 10,000 yards. 86 touchdowns for Ventura, active leader. Robert Cush, still 136.5 there. He's the active leader for now. Alright, so we're getting this first round bye. The starters are back in their starting roles across the board. By the way, it was a great idea to play McCrary. I know that the morale is factoring in, but he got a lot of good development this season, and it should help into the future. Defensively, everything is where it needs to be right now. So let's find that first opponent. We will face the 10-6 Dallas Cowboys in the divisional round. All right, let's see how far this team can go in 2035. Our season is over. 27-24. Dallas gets the upset victory. Wow. 3 touchdowns for Tyrus Sparks in this game. This wasn't his last game, was it? To lose the Super Bowl and to now go one and done. Oh, that would be such a disappointing end to his career if this is indeed it. Very shocking. We didn't run the football well in this game. Didn't get the impact defensive plays that we were so used to this year. And that's how it all ends. The Cowboys move on. No Super Bowl for us. Instead, it's the Pro Bowl. Okay, I have to learn more here about Kay Baker. But here are all the Pro Bowlers. Ventura and Mills. And Kadeem Clayton. And Dominique Hadley. Leonard Lester, Bradley, Hakeem. Burgess made it. Seymour, of course. Always going to see a few breakout Pro Bowl performers. I love that. Kiefer Baker made it to the Pro Bowl. I don't think any of us have ever heard of him in this series. He's been a backup since 2027. But suddenly got the chance to start this year and threw 30 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Alright, that kind of came out of nowhere. This year's Super Bowl is between the Giants and the Steelers. That's a random Super Bowl matchup, I feel. Let's see if anyone's development went up. No one really comes to mind on the team. Offense looks like it's all the same that we're used to. Defensively, role is still at normal dev. Okay, I don't see any changes here. But we still had a pretty successful year when it comes to developments. But we all know that's another year in the books now in the series. The question now, what happens with Tyrus Sparks? I guess we have some yearly awards to check quick. MVP, Christian Stanton. Sparks almost got it. Christian Stanton. And then J.W. Unger was the Coach of the Year. Tyrus Sparks was Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC. Pearson Drummond, Rookie of the Year. Jazeer Dotson. Here are all the awards. We won some of them. Anything cool in the AFC? Rashad Hunt won Rookie of the Year at running back. That's pretty interesting. The Steelers won a ton of these awards too. I'm taking Steelers in the Super Bowl. I just think they're too loaded. Steelers win 31-27. All right. We got to check these retirements. I see Robert Cush already retired. Wade Mann, Lynn Perkins, Alexander Dawson. So if it shows one of our players here, I don't think that Sparks retired then. I think it shows all the players for a specific team in a row. I think he's coming back, everybody. Tyrus Sparks will indeed continue his career. But we have to take a look at regression now. Where is Sparks at this stage of his career? 13. Okay, 83 overall. 83. Tyrus Sparks, not the same quarterback he once was. He's now the 13th ranked quarterback in the league. So now this is where you have to make a decision. Do you want to keep Sparks? Do you move on? What do you do? I think we keep Sparks. We do not have a great backup ready. Oh, Beekman loses 39. Seymour 18. No. Bradley only lost 7. I already signed him. Lindsley 16. That could be it for him. This might be the last time we really see William Lindsley here in the series. He was a great backup quarterback. His legacy will continue in Super Mega Baseball 3, though. That's still coming. What a great career he had. He was drafted all the way back in 2021. That's a long career. All right, another offseason's coming your way next time, everybody. We have some big decisions. Tyrus Sparks now looking for about $26 million. There's Nathan Parson, Damian Burgess. I think Schrader's probably going to be gone. And I don't know what else is going to happen. How is the cap space looking? Around 60. And around 35 or less if we sign Sparks. So keep that in mind. The next episode, we try to put this team together again for another run. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was a pretty fun season simulation until the postseason. But that is going to do it for today. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.